and if you give me 1 minute, I'm going to grab leader of the official opposition, Mr. Mmusi Maimane, for you. But I think really here the talk on the precinct has been the big surprise about our new Minister of Public Works, Patricia de Lille, who, when we spoke to her this morning, seemingly was going to be joining us here in giving us a reaction to the new cabinet. And of course, she has been probably called to Pretoria to be present for the swearing in, so that's why she was not able to make it. Mr. Mmusi Maimane, thank you so much for joining us, leader of the official opposition. You know which way I like you to stand. You got used to me now. You know my good side. Thank you so much. Just your goods, your bads, and your uglies, please.
I think first of all, what is good is that we've reduced in some way some of the ministries. I'm disappointed that we've added more deputy ministers. So the executive pretty much remains bloated, which we should have done better at that. I think what is bad for me is that it feels like these are the same actors playing to these are different actors playing to the same script. The script has remained the same.
Talk me through that.
What this country needs is reform. What we needed is a plan for the future. And this cabinet doesn't seem to come up with a plan. It refers to the NDP. I mean, half the people who are in that cabinet simply have not been schooled in the NDP, and therefore that plan seems to be outdated. And it lacked the macroeconomic plan. It lacked the ideas that say, how do we set South Africa going forward? We should be putting new ideas, ministers of innovation. We should be looking at how we streamline the economics cluster so that it's much smaller, and we have one minister so that we can deliver jobs for the people of South Africa. We should change the regulatory environment so that it's much more effective. So these looks like just a reshuffling of actors playing to the same script.
Bad. Okay, can we just talk about good very quickly? And I mean the real good here. How much of a surprise is Patricia de Lille's appointment? And do you know anything about behind the scenes talks before she left of possibly receiving a cabinet position?
Well, it's not up to me to decide. All I know is that it was a well-executed ANC campaign that's worked out well and should be rewarded. And so I think it would be appropriate that...
Spell that out. Are you saying that you think that it was on the cards all along?
Yeah. And more than anything, it's... For me, the focus is now, Patricia de Lille is now part of the ANC's infrastructure. She now serves in the same cabinet with the team there. And now what we've got to look at is hold her accountable as we would any other member. And my focus is about making sure that South Africa needs reform. It needs change. And we can't just be simply reshuffling players, whether it was Patricia or whoever comes from the place. These are the same actors who've contributed. And therefore, we've got to look at change and look at the future.
Last question. Anyone that you're sad to see go?
Look, there are certain people I welcome going. Batabile Dlamini is one. We fought hard against her. Nomvula is another. But certainly, I think when we look at this cabinet, you see Didi Mabuza still in place, the same actors. I think looking at those who have left, it certainly doesn't surprise me. I really do think we need much bigger reform than what we've been able to put up at. And so I would hope that more people could have left, not less.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mmusi Maimane, official leader of the opposition here in Parliament, telling us that he believes that Patricia de Lille's appointment as Public Works Minister was a well-executed plan and probably had been in the pipeline for some time, whereas she seemed quite ready to be here this evening when we spoke on WhatsApp earlier on the phone. But as we're talking about, everybody's very happy with the reduced cabinet. As I say, an international standard is 28 cabinet ministers. Remember that deputy ministers are not cabinet ministers. They do not form officially part of the executive.